How to create a middle game attack in chess. Imagine your pieces are soldiers ready to strike. The middle game is where you turn your position into a battlefield and launch your attack. It's not about rushing but about planning smart moves that build pressure. First, understanding your pawn structure is key. Look for pawn chains and weaknesses in your opponent's setup. If you see a pawn that can be challenged or a line that can be opened, that's your starting point. Always make sure your king is safe first. Usually, castling early keeps your king protected and frees your pieces for attack. Next, activate your pieces. Bring your knights and bishops into the game by placing them on active squares. Connect your rooks so they support each other on open or semi-open files. Centralize your queen if possible, but avoid exposing it to unnecessary threats. Now, create threats that force your opponent to respond. For example, attack their loose pawns or threaten checkmate. Forcing moves can make your opponent react defensively, giving you the initiative. Use pawn breaks wisely. Pushing a pawn to challenge the opponent's pawn structure can open lines for your bishops and rooks. This can be a game changer if timed correctly. Develop a clear plan based on what you see on the board. If their king is castled on the king side, consider a pawn storm or piece infiltration there. If they have weaknesses on the queen side, expand your control there instead. Sometimes sacrifices are necessary to open lines or remove defenders. Be cautious about overextending your pieces. If you push too far, you might create weaknesses that your opponent can exploit. Always keep your position flexible. If your plan isn't working, adapt by repositioning your pieces or switching targets. A typical attack sequence might be castling your king, then pushing a pawn to open lines, followed by improving your least active pieces. Coordinate your rooks on open files, threaten your opponent's key pieces, and press on weaknesses. Remember, the goal is to put pressure on their king or weak points, forcing them into defensive moves. By focusing on piece activity, pawn breaks, and a clear plan, you can turn a solid position into a winning attack. Keep your pieces active, your threats consistent, and stay flexible. That's how you create a middle game attack that can turn the tide of the game in your favor.